Hello everyone, it is Kelly with Kelly Richmond Scrapbooking. I'm an independent advisor with Creative Memories, and I am going to do this sketch from the August 2023 virtual crop. This is sketch number 2. This is the sketch right here. This is the idea that Creative Memories came up with. So let's get started. If you want this handout, it is in my Facebook group, Scrap Happy with Kelly. I'll put the link in the comments. So if you want to join that group so you can get this handout, you can. And I take this handout and I just put it in my sketch binder. And I do all my sketches, I put them in according to how many photos are on the sketch. So when I'm getting ready to do a page like I'm doing right here, I've got 3 photos. I flip to the 3 photo and I find a sketch that's gonna work with the orientation of my photos, okay? So that's what I do with that. And I love sketches. It takes a lot of the guesswork and brain work out of scrapbooking, so that's why I do it. So let's get started with the sketch. Now this sketch is super simple. It's pretty much just 2 borders down the side. You're clustering your photos together and then a title right here. I have got actually just 2 photos and then this postcard from a trip to Florida, to Orlando, that I did with my daughter and my 2 sisters. So that was super fun. And so those are the photos I'm going to use. It's going to be easy to cluster. The only difference that I'm going to do is my title. I want to create my title right here over the Florida because that's already a really nice decorative touch. And so I figured I could do my title right here and it'd be super simple. So I am kind of flipping this just a little bit. So the thing that I want to show you is I don't want to cover up this Florida right here. And so I'm going to do my border just like it does here in the sketch right down the side. And so I'm going to kind of shift this paper over. And I'm going to be working right on my scrapbook page. That's just how I like to scrapbook. You don't have to do it that way. You could either do the slide in or do a base and then attach it, whatever you want. It's up to you. We've got lots of different ways to do it. Okay, so I am using the Florida Scene paper pack and sticker pack, and I was super excited when they came out with this because I was right at this point in scrapbooking where I was getting ready to go on this the pictures I was scrapbooking was right when I was doing this, so it's perfect. So I kind of like this tanny or orange color, so I'm going to use the orange as my 2 little border details on the side. So I'm going to cut that first, and here is our decorative trimmer that I'm going to use to create this feature right here on the side. Now, as you can see, this is an older version. Our newer version is a completely different color. I've had this for a long time. Look, I finally got a new blade for it, so it should cut fairly nicely. So we're going to go ahead and start. Now, this right here, it does a swell up and then a dip. So I want to make sure that my swell is going the correct direction, and it's 1.5. So I'm going to put my paper in, and I've got measurements right here. Now, one thing about the decorative trimmer is it's longer than 12 inches. It's 12.5. So that my swell is in the center, I'm going to line my paper up after this first square. So 1/4 inch from both edges, and then I'm going to move it over until it hits 1.5 is a really big border, but we're going to go ahead and cut it. If I don't like it, I might cut some down, but we'll start with that. And I started in the middle, and that's all right. Okay, so there we've got our first border. Oh no, it's going to work fine. Okay, now I want to do the same border on the other side. Now this paper is directional. It has like lots of different words on it, like a bunch of different cities, Tallahassee, West Palm Beach, Miami. So I don't want to just flip my paper, because if I flip my paper, will it be the same? So I've got to make sure on that. Actually, yeah, that will be perfect. So I'm going to flip my paper around, put it on the 1.5, just like the last time. Make sure it's straight and cut it. Okay, and then I've got this border and the words are the right direction. Yay! That's a win. All right, so I'm gonna set that off to the side. I'm gonna set the rest of this paper pack off to the side too, because these two papers are the only ones from the pack that I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna set that aside. So it's kind of out of the way. Put my sketch right here. All right, so let's move this out of the way and get down to business here. So I'm gonna just kind of eyeball to see where this is gonna go. And I've got to make sure it's over far enough that these little dips right here are not, the white is not gonna show through, okay? And I'm just trying to figure out where I need to trim my paper. Now, if I was to trim it at about 1 inch, I'm just going to, let's see, I'm just gonna get a little pencil here, move this over so it's in the right spot, and I'm just using my ruler here on the bottom of my mat, and I'm just gonna make a little 1 inch mark. And that's where I'm gonna trim my paper, and that way I can use this piece right here at a later time. I don't, like I said, I don't like to waste paper, so I don't want to layer on top of it, and I'm gonna have to cut some off anyway. So here I've got, you know, a good, yeah, 2 inches of paper that I can use on something else. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere this on. And I'm just using my tape runner. I'm just gonna do it in about 9 little spots. Okay. And I'm using, once again, I'm gonna use my 13 by 13 mat to make sure that I'm putting my paper in the right spot, just 1 inch over from each side. Let's make sure it's straight, which it is. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna put on my borders. Now, I'm just doing a pretty simple layout. If you can see in the sketch, what they've done is they have also cut a border right here using the new paper border maker cartridge that comes out. This is a sneak peek of some products that come out on Monday. And so they've just cut a border to go, so there's 2 different pieces of paper here. So there's a line paper using the border cartridge for a border, and then they've cut the striped paper this is from the back to school paper pack on the swell edge. So you could do super fancy like this to add a little bit more interest by adding that border. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm gonna do pretty simple. I might change my mind after I get my pictures on, but I don't think so. I just wanted a little bit of color, and that's why I did the orange, kind of to pick up some of the orange from the palm trees right here. All right, so we're gonna just put that on right there. Okay, perfect. All right, so now my pictures that I'm gonna put on here, like I said, I've got this really fun Orlando postcard. I've got these two pictures here. And as you can see, my orientation is not the same, but I'm okay with that. I don't think I'm going to trim this photo down to a 4x4 because the background is kind of important to me. We had just made it to Orlando, and that night we had gone to downtown Disney's, which is now called Disney Springs. And we used to live there, so it was super, super nostalgic for my daughter and I. So I want to keep that in there. So I'm going to keep this as a 4x6. Actually, I'm going to trim it down, and I'll explain that in a second. But I can overlap similar to this and still have my title. So it's going to be super, super easy. This 4x4 is not matted, which is fine because I didn't plan on matting this postcard. And look, the colors look so good. And so I'm going to mat them, and I like to mat in cardstock, but I want to show you this really cool, fun feature. Now, these little sheets that you get when you buy a paper pack, it tells you the coordinating cardstocks so that you can take any of these cardstock colors and put it with this paper pack, and it's going to look great. So Creative Memories does a really good job of taking out some of the guesswork out of it. So I chose the blue color. Look, I pulled these out of my scraps. This is a 4x6. This is a little bit longer, so I'm going to cut it as a 4x6 for these two photos. I do this often where my mats I will cut at a 4x6 and then trim my pictures down because I feel like I can get more mats out of a piece of cardstock if I do it that way. So that's what I like to do. And it's usually always easy to cut off a 1/4 of an inch off your photos because there's always extra stuff in a photo, right? So see, there's plenty of room up here to trim off a 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to trim off a 1/4 of an inch off of this side. Okay. And then super easy, I'm just going to mat it. And mat this one. This page is going to go together super fast. Okay. Let's put this first. Okay, perfect. You know what? I'm going to move this over just a little tiny bit. All right. Now for my title, I'm just going to use the Florida. See if there's anything else that I need on there. I really like these flowers. So I'm going to kind of create this little grouping, and they fit perfectly right there. And then I'm going to take some pop-up squares just to add a little bit of dimension to my page. That way I can also kind of get an idea of where I want to put it. Okay. And there we go. Easy peasy. All right. There we go. Super simple. I'll probably put the date right down here. Let's see. And there we go. Super simple, super easy. It's going to be an easy layout to do over and over and over again. So keep your little handout and throw it in your binder so you can use this sketch again for on other pages. Hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed it. Super fast and super easy. Hope you guys have a great time. If you use this sketch making layout, post it either on in my Facebook group, Scrap Happy with Kelly, or a picture of it down below. Hope you guys have a great time and scrap happy. Bye.